Gout Gout signed with Adidas before most athletes his age even know what their future looks like. The deal reportedly runs for 8 years and is worth more than $4 million at base value. But money can be heavier than metals when the whole world starts watching too early. Now the question is not whether he is fast enough, it is whether fame can catch him before anyone else does. Gout Gout's Adidas deal is not just a shoe contract. It is a sign that the track world has decided he is more than a fast teenager. He is now a commercial bet, a future star, and one of the most watched young sprinters on earth. The important detail is that this did not start after one viral race. Gout turned professional and signed with Adidas while he was still only 16. Reports later placed the base value at more than $4 million over 8 years, with other reports in Australia putting the deal around $6 million Australian dollars. The exact bonus structure is not public, so the smart way to say it is simple. Adidas made a major long-term investment in him before his senior career had fully begun. That tells you how rare his speed looked early. Brands do not hand out long deals to every young athlete with promise. They look for something bigger: a face, a story, a country, a future Olympic stage, and a running style people remember after one clip. Gout has all of that, and Adidas moved before the rest of the world could stop staring. The reason the deal became such a big story is the timing. Gout was already known in Australia, but his rise kept getting louder. At the World Under-20 Championships in Lima, he won silver in the 200 meters and ran 20.60. That result helped show he could handle international pressure against older junior athletes. Then his times kept falling. He ran 20.04 for 200 meters at the Australian All-Schools Championships, breaking Peter Norman's long-standing national 200-meter record. That was a huge moment in Australian sprinting, because Norman's name had lived in the record books for decades. By 2026, Gout had moved into a different room. At the Australian Championships in Sydney, he ran 19.67 with legal wind. That made him the first Australian man to run under 20 seconds legally in the 200 meters. It also gave him a world under-20 best. That is why the Adidas deal now looks even bigger. It was not just hype. The clock kept proving the bet had a reason. Signing with Adidas changed the outside story, but it also changed the inside pressure. Before the deal, Gout could be framed as a schoolboy sprint talent from Queensland with a huge future. After the deal, he became a professional athlete with a major company attached to his name. That matters because track is already lonely. In football or basketball, a young player can hide inside a team. In sprinting, the lane is exposed. The camera does not care who signed the contract. The clock does not care how much the shoes are worth. Every race now carries two stories. First, can Gout win? Second, did Adidas pick the right kid? That second question is unfair, but it is real. Big money creates big noise. For a young sprinter, the danger is not only losing, it is letting the money change the rhythm. More media, more requests, more cameras, more people wanting a piece of the future before the future arrives. The most important person in Gout's track life may still be Coach Dee Shepherd. She first saw the talent early and has stayed close as the attention has grown. Their dynamic has become part of the story because she is not trying to act like a celebrity coach. She is there to keep the athlete grounded. On 60 Minutes, when asked if the Adidas money could change the balance around Gout, Shepherd joked that the only real trouble would be if he brought home a girl she did not like. The line was funny, but the point underneath was serious. She is protective. She does not want distractions taking over. A young star does not only need a fast lane, he needs someone willing to say no. No to too many appearances, no to bad timing, no to rushing the senior stage, no to turning every race into a marketing event. Adidas can give support, gear, money, travel, and status, but a coach protects the daily work. That is where the career is built. There is another reason Adidas wanted in early. Gout does not look like a normal local star. He has global shape. That visual matters in modern sport. Fans share what looks different. Sponsors know that. A young sprinter who runs fast and looks memorable is rare. Gout also has Australia behind him. That matters for Adidas because the future calendar is powerful. The 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles could be his first huge Olympic stage. Then 2032 brings Brisbane, a home Olympics. If Gout keeps rising, he could become one of the faces of that games. That is the business side. Adidas is not only paying for today's 200 meters, it is buying into a story that could grow for years. The Adidas deal makes Gout look like a finished product to casual fans, but he is not one. He is still learning how to race grown men. Gout does not need to become Bolt to justify the Adidas deal. He needs to become himself at the highest level. That means staying healthy, improving his start, learning race patterns, and winning when the field is not built around him. The contract may make people rush the story. The smart path does the opposite. It slows everything down enough to let the talent last. The next test will show whether Gout can keep separating business from racing. He has major meets ahead, including the kind of senior races that can turn promise into proof or expose what still needs work. The race against Noah Lyles over 150 meters in Ostrava is one example. It is not a championship final, but it is a public pressure test. Lyles is an Olympic champion and one of the biggest names in sprinting. Gout is the young star with the huge time and the major deal. That kind of race is exactly why the Adidas story matters. The brand gets the spotlight, but Gout gets the pressure. If he runs well, the hype grows. If he struggles, the critics grow. Either way, the noise gets louder. The challenge is to treat it as one race, not a final judgment. That is easy to say and hard to live when the world is watching. There is a positive side to the deal. While money creates pressure, it also creates protection. It prevents an athlete from chasing every race for short-term gain, supporting travel, recovery, and long-term planning. For a young sprinter, the right support provides space to grow, whereas the wrong path can burn talent quickly. Reports indicate Gout used his early success to buy a home for his family, showing the deal is about changing lives, not just fame. Still, the track rewards readiness, not marketability. That is the line he must walk now. Gout's Adidas deal is the start of a harder story. Before the money, he was a rising star. Now, he is a target. Rivals, fans, and sponsors are watching, and every race is judged as a clue about the future. This pressure can break young athletes if they chase attention over progress, but if his team prioritizes the work, this deal becomes the foundation for something much bigger. Adidas bought into the speed, the world into the excitement, and Australia into the dream. Now Gout must step into the blocks, carry the money, comparisons, and pressure, and run like only the next 200 meters matter. The first payment changes a life, but the first real final changes a career for good.